Hi, this is Derek Brost with VEM Global. Today I want to show you how easy it is to add or edit a block through the ezCMS on any page of your website. So the first thing you need to do is log in. I've already done that, as you can see with my ezCMS toolbar up above here. Next, you need to navigate to the page and find the content block that you want to edit. So I'm going to edit this content block here. Once I've done that, I need to click on the Edit Page button. That'll bring me into the edit mode for the page and be able to click on any block to edit it. As you can see, any block that I can edit becomes gray when I roll over it. When I click on that block, I have a few options. First off is edit, which is we'll be using, but I'm going to go into a couple of these other ones here to show you what other controls you have on a block. The first one here is copy to scrapbook. If I do that and copy it to my scrapbook, I can add it and then now add that same block anywhere within my website, whether it's the same page or a different page or anywhere else that I might want to add it. So I'm going to add the block to scrapbook, and I'm going to click add to sidebar, and I'm going to paste it from a scrapbook. And I'll grab the top one here, and it'll automatically copy that same block that I have over here to the left on the right sidebar. The next option is, let's say I want to move that from this right sidebar up above underneath this picture. So the next option is move. When I click on that, it kind of shortens all these blocks up so that it's easier to see all of them on the page. And all I need to do is roll over the block that I want to move, click on it, and move it to whatever section I want, and then let go. I can reorder it within that same section as well if I want to put it on top or on bottom. And once I decide where I want everything and that's the way I want it, I can click on Save Positioning. Now that everything's saved and everything's moved, I can again click on it and edit or do whatever I need to do. The next option that I have is delete, and it does just what you think it does. It'll delete that block from that area. So I really don't want this block underneath this big picture, so I'm going to click delete. The system, are you sure you want to delete this? All right, I'll delete that, and now that block's gone. So now let's actually get into editing a content block. So I'll click on the content block that I want to edit and click the edit option. As you can see, the content block is a lot like a word editor. You can see you have your bold, italics, underlines, right, left justification, your font colors, you can do bullets or numbered lists, you can do some indents. There are some other options here that aren't actually in Word. You have your add image, add file. Those are things that you can do in Word, but these pull from the actual system itself and works correctly on the internet. Some other options you have is the ability to add a link or an anchor, an image, or you can also do some cleanup of some messy code. We won't worry about that one right now, or we can actually go and look at the HTML version of this as well, which would be the code how a developer, say, might write this page, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So the first thing you can do with this block is, let's say we decided we actually want to make this photo larger. All we need to do is scale this image up and down however big we want it, and the content will actually wrap around it however we need to. And let's say we actually want to get rid of this header instead of having two headers right underneath each other. We can do that just as easy and then update it as well. Let's say that underneath here we want to add some more text that says, welcome to our company. And we want to make that kind of big. What we can do is we can select that text and use these different styles up here. We have different styles that have to do with your paragraph, address, pre-formatted. And as you can see, however they're displayed here is how they'll display within this window as well. The main four that you'll probably use will be paragraph, heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. The heading 1 is one that you want to keep in mind when creating the page. You always want to make sure that you have a heading 1 somewhere on the page. The higher up, the better. And also, you only want to have one heading 1 per page. So once you already have a heading 1, don't use it again unless you're going to change it or something like that. Anytime after that, make sure you use a heading 2 or a heading 3. So I'm going to make this a heading 2 so that it's a little bit bigger than my regular text and that it stands out. So this is what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and update this block. And as you can see, if I scroll down, the changes that I made within that window are now showing up on the site. One thing I want to point out though is when you're in the edit mode, just because you make a change to a block, once you update that change or save that change, it doesn't automatically publish to the site. So while I'm still in edit mode here, this isn't actually showing up on the live site. To do that, I actually need to exit edit mode, decide if I want to discard, preview, or actually publish my edits, and I can give it some comments as well based on maybe what I did for future reference. If I were to discard my edits, it wouldn't save anything. It'd be like a cancel. If I wanted to preview my edits, it'll show me what that page will look like, or I can just publish my edits and it'll automatically publish those edits to the site. And now once I've published them, this is what would show up for the user on the front end of the site. So let's go ahead and go back in and edit the page, and I'll show you how to add in a new block. So I'll delete this to give us a feeling of a fresh page. We're starting from scratch. So this is what a page might look like when we're starting from scratch in the content area. As you can see, when I scroll over some of these other areas, they also gray out, but there's nothing in them to show that they're an editable area because there's no red box around them. Well, this is how you go ahead and add to this different sections. So this main section, I want to add a new content block to. So I click on it and click Add Block. Within the system, we have a bunch of default blocks already added in. And as you can see from this list, it's a wide range of different options. Video players, galleries, forms, slideshows, guest books, image, file downloads, HTML, and then the content block, which is probably one of the most common ones that you'll use. So I'm going to click on content here, and again, it's going to open up that same type of window for the edit. And then I can go ahead and add whatever content or photos I want, and I'll show you how to do that here. What we've noticed is a lot of people like to copy from Word directly into this editor and then publish those changes. The only problem with that is when you're typing in Word, to make sure that it looks right in Word, there's a bunch of extra code that gets added in that you don't actually see. But when if you were to copy it into here, would show up in the actual HTML version of this. And it's basically unneeded code that isn't used to display your text at all. I'll show you an example of that here. I'm going to go over to my Word editor, copy some text, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. First off, you're going to see some extra text like version and some more text that might not make any sense to you. We don't need that in here. But also, if I go into the HTML view, you'll see there's actually a lot more, let me highlight it here for you, of text that's not actually used to display my content on your site. And if I were to keep adding this, it's just going to add more load time to my pages, which could make them slower. So a way to remedy this is, first I'm going to delete this out of here. And you'll notice there's a little W icon up here that is an option called Paste from Word. So if I click on that, it's going to ask me to paste my content from Word into this box. And then I can click Update. And what it'll do is it'll actually pull out that unneeded Word extra text, and I can easily delete it. And then now, once I go and add that, it'll add it fine on the front end. And if I go back into my HTML view, you'll see that now there's no extra text in here as well. It'll make your page times load faster, and it'll also take away that unneeded messy code that's not needed to display your text. So I'll cancel out of here. Let's say I want to go ahead and add that image into the page and make this look a little more fun. So let's click on this image right here. Then I have some options again. I'll go into more detail in the file manager of some of these other options. For right now, all we need to do is click Choose. It'll automatically bring in that photo wherever I had the cursor placed, and since I had it at the beginning of Treat Yourself, it basically placed that image on the top. So I'm going to delete this and re-add this. I'm going to place my cursor right here, and actually I need to take out this and might need to give it a new format again, give it that H1, put my cursor back. Okay, that's where I want my image. Then I'm going to click Add Image again, find that image, there it is, click Choose. As you can see, it actually pushes that text down at the bottom of the photo. If I wanted that text to wrap around the photo, all I need to do is select the photo and then either align it to the right or to the left. I'm going to choose Align to the left. and then it'll place my photo on the left side with my text on the right side. Another option you might want to do is, let's say you have maybe an image that you want someone to download for maybe a background, or it's just a really cool shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Add File here, and again, wherever I place my cursor is where this link is going to be added. So I'll click Add File, and I'm going to go through and, I think this is kind of a cool shot that I want someone to be able to download. Again, I'll click on it, click Choose, and now instead of showing up as a file, it's actually going to show up as a link that when someone clicks on it, they're going to be able to download that file. So let's say, this is about our, a deal or something that we're running for our company. And let's go ahead and let's say we want to insert a link to a page. So we want to, add some text. Click here for more deal info. And then we're going to have a link to our deal page. What we can do is we can click the Insert Link to Page, and it'll basically show our sitemap of our site and show what pages are available that we can link to. So I'm going to click on this Deals page, and it's automatically going to add a link to that Deals page here. So I could click Update, and whatever information I've added in here will actually update and show within my content block here. And I'll show you how this photo image will download now versus being an actual image within the page. If I were to click on this link, I'm actually going to have the option to save the file to my computer and then open it up that way. Another option you may have is you want to go in and create a link to an outside page. Maybe it's not within your site, maybe it's another site that you want to link to. That option is going to be able to be done by creating the text that you're going to create the link for. So, let's create a see Yahoo for more info. And I want to make sure I capitalize Yahoo. So we're going to select this text, and then we're going to click this Insert Edit Link option. What this will do is, for my general information, I can click it to a URL. I could use what are called anchors within the page if they're available. Then I can tell it how I want this window to open. Do I want it to open in this current window? Do I want to open it into a new window, so like basically kind of like a pop-up? Or do I want it to open in the same one? Or do I want it to open up with frames? So for right now, I want it to open up in a new blank window. And the link we're going to do is HTTP. I'll just link it to Yahoo for right now. And we'll update that link. And as you can see, it's now a link. And if I were to update this information, and then again go in and publish my edits, you can see now is when I click this link, it's going to open up in a new window, the Yahoo homepage. So as you can see, it's very easy to quickly add, edit, and do anything else that you need to do with your content on any page within your site with the ezCMS content block.